Well, do you know where your family came from? And if you don't, do you know where to begin? Well, the Wood County District Public Library might be able to help with that. This afternoon, we have Kelsey and Kristin from the library joining us, talking a little bit more about an upcoming genealogy chat that you all have at the library. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're super excited to hold these genealogy chats.
Yeah.
They're the first Wednesday of every month at 2 o'clock at the Bowling Green Library. And you can come, you either a professional or a new person researching their family history. It doesn't matter. You're more than welcome to come and research and get help from our helpful librarians and find something new at the library.
To be able to have these genealogy chats, I mean, you've got to have interest from people to want to search their family history. So what is that interest like? And it's not just people from Wood County, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is we have resources, a lot of different resources, newspapers dating back to, the 1860s, a lot of different online resources. We have, of course, our local history collection at the library that both Kristin and our local history librarian, Marnie, curate and cultivate. So a lot of different things. And you don't have to be from Wood County. We have stuff from all over. And just to get started on that research, to find, where you're going and where you want to take it, and to get help from our seasoned professionals like Kristin is super, super helpful in those situations.
So Kristin, as one of the professionals, I'm going to go with assuming that you've researched your family history as well.
I have done a lot of research into my family history, and going through and researching your family, it's nice to have people to bounce those ideas off of, or to tell someone what you found. And sometimes you run into a brick wall, and it's nice to have somebody to say, hey, did you try looking at this database, or did you look at that? I sent away for this death certificate for my great-grandfather, hoping to get his parents. And as you can see on the death certificate, that it's absolutely blank under the parents line. So that brick wall stayed a brick wall for a while longer.
Oh, wow. So is this one of the, maybe more interesting things that you found when you were searching into your genealogy?
This one, no. I mean, we knew that William Schaefer passed away in an oil derrick accident back in 1905, which is why there wasn't a lot of information on the death certificate. Death certificates in Ohio didn't even come around until about 1905, so that was one of the early ones. Some of the earlier stories is my family has had a few horrible train accidents that I didn't know about until I started researching going out further into the tree to find things. But it's fun to find, where did they come from and what made them move into Ohio. And it's a lot of fun to share those stories.
I'm sure it's led to a lot of interesting conversations around, the dinner table with not just your immediate family, but maybe Christmas, Thanksgiving, being like, hey, I found this about our great, 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 great whoever, right?
Right, absolutely. I was at the Islands this summer with my brother, and we went to the Perry Monument, and they have a lot up there about the history of the War of 1812. And Thomas Manning Luce was one of my great-grandfathers, and he fought in the War of 1812. Not on the Great Lakes. He was over off the shores of Connecticut. But there was a tie-in to talk about. My grandson has gone through the family binders that have a lot of pictures and a lot of the military papers and death records and where they lived. And I have an uncle that was in World War I, and we've got the letters from him. So I tell him these stories, and then when he sees things, he'll ask questions. He recently was learning about the War of 1812, and he said, don't we have a they're all great-grandfathers, don't we have a great-grandfather who was in the War of 1812? I said, yes.
You were able to say, yeah.
I was able to say yes and show him what information I found and where he lived and I don't have a picture of him, but I have pictures of his daughter and of their children, and so it's
cool.
It's a lot of fun to find out where you are. Right.
I also kind of have a little bit of experience with this. I did a story with you all, I don't know how far ago, back I did it, but we tried searching up some of my history. We went up short, so we're going to have to search a little bit more. For me, I hit that brick wall. But it really is interesting to be able to see, and have those representatives from the library help you out and see what you can find. You guys have an awesome collection, but you also have stuff online too. Can you chat a little bit about that, Kelsey?
Yeah, so we have a whole bunch of research databases. We have Fold 3, we have Ancestry. If you come into the library that you can get started on. As you know, we have a whole bunch of different things that you can use. And of course, we have our in-print, actual collections at the library that you can find so much on. And especially, we have a new microfilm reader.
Microfilm reader, but we also just got the newspapers, newspaper.com collection for Ohio.
Okay.
So you can search on there, and those are newspapers that go back into the 1800s. So if you know some ancestors' names, you just start searching different areas and you'll find different stories. I found a marriage record for an ancestor. And where they got married and when they got married is all in there. It was like from the 1890s.
Yeah.
So, just those things that, you won't find in a certificate, but you can start adding the stories to your genealogy research once you can get them from newspapers. Or if you have family that have diaries or family Bibles, sometimes those newspaper articles are tucked in those places as well.
Real quick, only a few seconds left. Tell us again when those chats are.
So they're every first Wednesday of the month. They're at 2 o'clock at the Bowling Green Library.
All right. Thanks so much, Kelsey and Kristin, for joining us and telling us a little bit about the genealogy at the Wood County Library.
Always a pleasure.
All right. We will be right back.